Now getting into the conversation now, and I will, of course, still in the studio with me is Naya Redu, lead for One Play Africa, Chris Carter, media personality, and now we're talking about something that is quite interesting, the kinds of music that is on heavy rotation in Ghana. Broadcast journalist and media personality Kofi Ochudako KOD says that it seems Ghanaians are more into disco music, you know, the high tempo, bush, bush, bush kind of music, as compared to the ballads. Do you agree? I will be asking my panelists on the style of, so I say, consistent airplay on rotation, but as well calling on Alisa Hotel, who are giving us the most incredible cocktail to come and serve us some. Is named after our celebrity guest who will be joining us a little later with Chris, Sam Ola Dotun. It's called the Victory Punch. It has strawberry cream, strawberry yogurt, coconut cream, pineapple juice, and of course, the winning ingredients, Good Day Energy Drink, powered by Alisa Hotel. Thank you so much, sir. Now, Nanayao, let me start with you. And does KOD have a point when he says we are very into disco music in Ghana, at least on our airwaves?
Okay, so to me, he has a point if he says radio is playing a lot of similar songs or not playing enough ballads. But in terms of disco music, no, we are not.
Yes.
The thing is that the Ghanaian songs, if you have a chat with a DJ and ask the DJ that between the BPM of 120 to 130 to 140, they will tell you that when you're playing, whether on radio or in the club, and it gets to that BPM, there are less Ghanaian songs to be played. So we don't have it. We have enough, but we don't have more songs from Ghanaians that are disco, according to DJs. Even Viroski said it to us recently. So, but radio is playing, this is what is happening. Radio is playing a mid-tempo kind of music, but the same music being repeated across different platforms. So it comes across like radio is playing high tempo. No, it's not. It's the same songs. Like the programming for radio has changed. These days, the only programming that is working on radio consistently is the breakfast show, where every radio from 6 or 5:55 a.m. does the breakfast show. Aside that, it's all juggled up. You get it? So he has a point if he says radio is not playing enough balance. But when it comes to disco, I don't think that he has enough.
And we're trying to get KOD on the line so he can clarify if it's necessarily disco music he was talking about or perhaps more high-tempoed music. But Chris, what is your opinion about the style of music on our airways? Is it that we're ignoring ballads for more high-tempoed music?
Yeah.
We are.
Well, I would agree, because at the end of the day, if you look at Ghana, for instance, how many musicians are doing ballads? So it also, what I think is, yeah, there are probably musicians out there that want to do ballads. And these ballads we're talking about, definitely, I'm sure he also means most of these songs not just focused on Ghana. But if you look at the Ghana sector or the Ghana musical industry, how many people are doing ballads? People are just doing what will put money in their pockets.
Yes.
And what will put money in their pockets right now is not ballads.
Yeah, I can agree.
It's the high tempo, it's the everybody want to jump, everybody, you know. So, and it's also not the DJs or the radio's fault or even the musicians' fault. It is what the country wants. It is what the masses want. But people like us out there, yeah, we want to listen to some Adele, and it's Adele that caused this thing. It's Adele that made you tweet this. Yeah, we want to listen to people like that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, these musicians are also thinking about their pocket. Let's look at Nigeria. Nigeria, Timmy started with that style of music. You know, like slow tempo. His voice is almost like an opera singer.
Yeah.
And he stuck with it for a long time. This guy, Praise, Inyanya, also was an R&B singer.
But then he had to switch.
But he switched when he saw that, the system,
there's
I will be
no
hungry.
money.
You know, Praise also started with R&B, and he's still sticking to R&B at the end of the day. He's still sticking to those slow tempo songs. It's because in Nigeria has proven that there is a market of people like that. A market of and people that call them to come play shows are mostly the corporates
organizations.
Yeah, the corporate
Okay.
organizations. And I'm sure if there was something like that for people here to, this is my kind of genre, and corporate people, please employ us. People would, keep on doing it.
I think that.
But before I come to you, Nana, KOD is on the line, so he can clarify exactly what he meant by disco music. KOD, good to have you on the line.
How are you doing, AJ?
Hi, Kofi. Hope you're great.
I'm doing very well, AJ.
Wonderful. So, in a Facebook post, which we are discussing now, you spoke about how Ghanaian, or should I say, our airwaves are placing more premium on disco music as against ballads. By disco music, do you necessarily mean up-tempo music or specifically disco music?
That's what it is, like music that's meant to just get people dancing. So that doesn't matter whether it has a storyline or whatever it is, just people dancing, and that's it. That's exactly what I meant.
But in your opinion, do we have enough artists doing ballads? And are the Ghanaian music populace very excited about the idea of ballads from our Ghanaian artists as against more high-tempoed music?
I think we're forgetting what, the essence of the media is. We're supposed to, set the pace in terms of somehow affecting our responsibilities. You can't get on radio or listen to the radio from morning to evening. It's just back-to-back, only dance tunes. And this has become very prevalent in the last maybe about 15 years since we started having, presenters working with DJs. Back in the day, most presenters had, a playlist that they went by, and it didn't have to be mixing, it's done in the clubs. I think that's what's really accounted for this, because the DJ is just thinking about the next song that would go with the last mix. He's not thinking about playing music for people. And this struck me because, as I wrote in my post, I was listening to Adele's music. I was listening to Chris, her submission earlier, and talking about how we don't have quite a number of people who probably want to do that kind of music. Traditional music, as it were, has retired quite a number of high life musicians. We've retired them before their time.
Yeah.
Because we're playing the so-called Afro pop or Afro whatever.
Yeah.
And even people who are supposed to do high life music or record mellow. I just listened to Kwabna's new album just this evening. I'm actually next door from him. I was going to call him to be part of this conversation because he's someone that as well. Because Kwabna is one of the few musicians like Kojimchi who still writes incredible ballads.
Absolutely.
Adele has written an incredible ballad that is being played everywhere in the world. I'm sure some of our radio stations are playing Adele's music. But forget about and play. But if a Ghanaian recorded that same genre of music, there's no place for them on our airwaves. And this because our programs managers are failing. No, we all know what the morning shows do, all the politics from morning till about 9 or 10. And then there's the mid-morning show and then lunchtime. And I'm not giving you credence because I'm on your platform, but you listen to Citi in the afternoon. You listen to all the amazing songs. The only way I got to listen to Katie's Blue EP was because I was listening to you one afternoon.
Yeah.
And you played everything.
Yeah.
Whether it was up-tempo, mid-tempo, the ballads, everything. But listen around. You don't hear that kind of music everywhere.
True.
We're losing it. And in actual fact, the musicians are realizing that they don't have to rely on to my post this afternoon.
Right.
And it was the good thing is the musicians are finding out that they can actually carve their own niche and ignore what traditional media is meant to do to project their music. So get your fan base, record your music, get the various music platforms, get your music on, and forget about traditional media. And somehow we're killing traditional media because.
And then
do that.
Looking at some of the artists in the industry that do soulful style or do that soulful style of music. Abiana seems soul, Kwabna himself. Now, there's not a large offering of artists who tend to slow it down and do ballads in general. Is it because they feel it's not a commercially viable?
Know why?
Is it because it's not commercially viable?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, because we're not giving them that platform to make their music viable. I mean, how many dance songs does someone like what's the guy's name? Hello, is it you? I'm looking up. I like that.
Lionel Richie, yes.
Exactly. Lionel Richie. Very few countries can afford to have Lionel Richie even today.
Yeah.
The guy is selling out theaters, venues. How many dance songs does he have?
Yeah, that's true.
You know, why do we want to do that to high musicians? How often do you hear like music on airwaves?
That's
but
true.
There should be segmentation in such a way, time when you listen to your ballads, and I'm talking about authentic Ghanaian ballads, African ballads, and that of the West. The world has become a smaller place. I mean, why do we only allow whatever is coming from outside and don't affect our own people without music as well? That's what my challenge is, really.
All right, Kofi, thank you very much. Please stay on the line with me. Coming into studio to speak to Nanayao and Chris. Nanayao, KOD has raised quite a lot of great points about perhaps the platform not being given for people to do certain ballads. That way, if it was commercially viable for them, they would be more inclined to create that kind of music. Is it going to be a direct correlation if people started playing more ballads? Will it directly correlate to more artists creating these ballads?
Okay, I think I agree with KOD. That's I wanted to just chip into her conversation that traditional media, I keep saying this, lost its power when it started doing things that social media was doing. When you take TV, take radio, I used to produce at Vibe FM. Before you become a producer at Vibe FM with my code, you go through a process. You are taught what to do. So you know how to program, you know how to even produce a certain playlist for your presenter. Now, a lot of people on radio now who are DJs are picked from pubs and clubs, you know, and then they are playing on the radio. So it's a reflection of what they've been doing over time. And also, it's a broad topic. Also, advertising is the platform with the largest number gets the biggest pie of the budget, media budget. Therefore, if I'm a programs manager and I have to segment proper, like KOD is saying, and like I did say earlier on, that the only aside that, nothing else is working. Now, if I have to program and say, oh, lunchtime rhythms, I have to program and say, okay, between 9 to 12 lunchtime, blah, blah, blah. People who are buying media must understand that I will not command a certain large number of audience at a certain point in time. So if I'm going to get advertising budget, I can create that and put somebody there and pay. Because you're putting somebody to play, you have to pay the person. They're going to put on a light, station must run. You have all these costs. But if there's no budget and I can play or put somebody who can play songs that can get me a certain number for me to get advertising budget, I will do that. That's one point. The other point is, like Kay said, the radio has stopped leading the narrative. We are not playing songs from... Tell me the last time you heard a radio hit. Think about it. Even Abotre, it's not a radio hit. Radio is not giving anybody hits. Back in the day, radio will give you the number one song and everybody follows it. Radio, sorry to say, radio has now become a TV station. Radio is now on Facebook Live, it's on Periscope, it's everywhere. So radio is picking up what people are doing on social media. When you're on air and you say, send me a message, and the texter says, can you play me Aquaba to so and so and so, you will play it because they are listening to you. If you play what you think will help them, they will tune off. And the numbers will come, your show will have low rating, your GM will call you and say, why is your show having low rating? Now, you also have to switch and get the people to listen to you. It's a big problem. Do you get it? But he has a good point. He has a very fair point. We have to go back into saving traditional media. People keep saying traditional media is dead. It's not. It's the biggest validator. If a song like Abotre became number one and Citi didn't say it's number one, it's not number one. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. It's not number one. It's like people are saying diverse opinion. Oh, it's number one. It's number one. But when Citi FM says number one song in the country this Friday is Amrado featuring Black Sherif Abotre, it is #1 song.
It validated, yes.
Exactly. And there are a lot of people who are listening to radio than on social media. So we have to win the power back. There are people who are making amazing ballads. Listen, KOD just mentioned a few. I know a lot of artists in Ghana who are creating amazing ballads. You just played Jonathan. Jonathan is not an up-tempo song.
True.
It's not. But amazing song. It's not on radio. Who's going to play it? So you get it. Kabinet's new album. I also listened to the album. Amazing album. The lead single, Kwadede. How many people are playing it?
Well,
No, but that's where I think that most people on radio, I'm sorry to say, are not doing their homeworks.
okay.
Yes,
Exactly.
like you said, they're being driven by social media. If they were doing their homeworks, they will go back to listening to albums, listening to people, like actually really sitting down and then dissect the whole album.
We kill albums in this, not to catch it, we kill albums.
Yeah.
Listen, Mensa of FOK and Boys dropped an album recently. Amazing songs on the album. A
But
lot
now-
of ballads on that album with a lot of features. Nobody's playing it.
But now, while we're talking about doing your research, how about artists also feeding into
Exactly.
these on-air presenters? Me, for example, I go out of my way to listen to music. A lot of people do not send me music. When new music is put out there, I don't get it. But I have to go out of my way to go and listen to these albums and now find a way of getting these songs to put on air. Sometimes if I have to clean it out, I have to clean it out myself. There almost seems to be a bit of a disconnect as well between the artists, their PRs, their management, and getting the songs to the people on air who play these songs. I, for example, love to play ballads. I think it's my go-to when I just want a great playlist. I will load up great music from Sina to Abiana to Kwabna to Akwaba. Like, I would slow it down and I would listen to actual great music. But not everyone is this way. But the reason why I would be able to do this is because I go out of my way to listen to a lot of songs. I'll play old school high life. I'll play new school high life. I try and switch it up each day, giving you something different within every hour. But not every on-air presenter will be like this. If there's someone who genuinely wants the music but cannot get the music, what should they do?
So, because I do public relations for artists, I can speak to this. A lot of songs are sent to DJs every single time. Maybe you don't receive it, but
Yes.
for Citi, if you ask Mingo, he's always receiving new songs.
Yes.
The thing is, some DJs told me that they don't want to be the one to play the song and then they will lose listeners. They will lose numbers. So they're also jumping on the hit song. How do they get a hit song? They go to the street. So they go to the club, they go to the pub. Once it's big on the pub, then they bring it on the radio.
True.
Because they know that the people at the pub will listen to the radio, right? Now, if DJs are willing to play new songs, like proper, I know Citi because I'm here, but because I know Kwame Dazi will call me and say, hey, any new song you want me to add to our playlist, Minga will call. DJs don't want to do that these days. And there's an issue of when an artist presents his music, you have to pay.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm telling you for a fact.
I must be on the wrong side of industry then.
So the artists feel like, why don't I just overlook? Because the budget in doing promo, when you're paying DJs, is high. If you're doing social media and doing digital marketing, it's cheap or like less expensive. So let me focus on it. When I get a hit on the street and on social media, and I'm fortunate, radio will come and pick it up. You know, radio didn't give Jackie the hit forever.
Yes.
It wasn't radio.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was
Social media and TikTok and all these platforms.
Right?
Yes.
Now, I imagine that you won't believe it, but I'm sure Jackie them released the whole EP to a lot of DJs, and nobody played it because there was no money behind it. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of DJs tell me like, oh Nanaya, we like the song, go, but if I play, I go lose people. Like a DJ will tell I'm playing, let's say, lunchtime rhythms, right? And he's playing songs that are a bit popular. So look at the DJs what they do. Lunchtime rhythms, they go for the old songs. They don't play new records because they know that when they play the new records, they will lose people. So they go for the old records. So they go for the old songs for lunchtime rhythms just to keep the pace and keep the people going. And that's why we're losing.
Let me bring KOD back into the conversation. KOD, now what is the way forward? How can we fix this trend where there's a lot more high tempo as against ballads? And what is the general solution to be able to ensure that there are more artists willing to do more ballads and as well provide the music to us on-air people to be able to play it?
We have too many club DJs on radio. I mean, there are certain shows that don't need a club DJ, on air. mid-morning drive time. It's you having conversations with your audience, and then intermittently, well, maybe some 70% music. Friday evening, if you want to have your club DJ on between 7 to 1 a.m., have them on. You want to have like a party the whole weekend, do so, but there should be proper segmentation. AJ, you were just saying that certain musicians don't bring their music to you. Unfortunately, you're one of the few that they should all be running.
Surprisingly, I get no music. Like, no one rates me.
I saw all the musicians there. I was pretty impressed. They do, because I saw them at your birthday. They do whatever you do for them, and they'll thanks to you for your work in the music industry. But if we don't segment properly and give them platforms to be heard, they'll only look to having their music on social media, paying less. I'm told some people still take payola. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Honestly, they
I know
should.
That wouldn't happen at a place like Citi FM. Like,
of
really,
course.
I mean, these guys struggle so much. They spend so much money to produce their records now. They spend so much money to record their music videos. I'm sure there are certain radio personalities saying, but we too, we play the music, so why we don't get paid? That's why you get paid by the radio station. If you can't, you want to live in a certain way that your salary from radio cannot sustain it. Charlie, quit and go stay in the clubs. We need to segment properly. We need to have a conscious effort from the angle of the program's directors to decide that, between this time and that time, come on, what's wrong with playing new music? What makes a hit song? New song like Adele's music. It's being played everywhere, back to back. Even if you don't like it, Charlie, it will just grow on you.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that? When's the last time we had a radio hit in Ghana?
Very
People
true
like,
words.
You listen to like Sarkodie's narrative in recent times, and it looks like Charlie, no credence to traditional media, and it's not really his fault, because they put in so much on social media. Shatawale would make all the noise on social media, and it's buzzing for him. So really, he doesn't see the need to be on traditional media or even support radio or TV stations when they're having an event. We need to have that win-win relationship where TFM is having an event and they're all coming in their numbers, like your birthday. They were there to support you, to surprise you, because they know what you do for them. You support them. You see what I've done over the years with my event, like Rhythms on the Runway. The musicians are coming in their numbers because I'm always there to support them.
Yeah.
It needs to be a win-win situation.
Yeah.
And that win-win situation is not just between the radio personality and the musician. It should be the station itself and the musician and their management as well.
Absolutely.
So this goes out to program directors across the country. Give musicians a platform. Highlight musicians, those who write ballads. They are young people. Listen to Kitty. Listen to Kim Promise. They still write ballads somehow.
Absolutely.
But those songs rarely make it on radio. Unless you make time to go listen to them. Morning to evening, Charlie. These guys, that's it. He's only thinking about the next song to mix. And I'm sure they don't even really make time. Like, on a weekend, any good radio material would make time to listen to all the new songs. And you're listening to an entire EP or listening to an entire album. And if you listen to someone like Kwabna's upcoming album, there's a bit of everything. It's eclectic.
Yeah, we love that. We love that.
So we're getting all songs from the dance tunes. We're getting all the dance songs making it. And songs like Adele, that's making it worldwide. The world has become a small place. We're all listening to music from every part of the world. We should be able to export ours as well, not just the Afro whatever that is making waves on our airways. Let's go back to that as well.
Thank you so much for joining us via Zoom. I hope you have a great weekend. And
I am. Kamna was just making time to join us right now. He's next door.
Oh my! Please tell him that he owes me an interview. So we'll do that on air when he comes into town. But thank you very much for that.
I think he's dropping his first single I think he's dropping his first single next Friday. So
amazing. We cannot wait for it. We cannot wait for it. We cannot wait for it at all. Now, to wrap up the conversation quickly, in like 30 seconds, final words on the way forward for us as an industry in terms of increasing our balloting system. Okay,
one, turn off the Facebook Live on radio because you cannot even.
Why are you hating against it? We need to. No, we cannot. Traditional radio can also not be in a silo. We need to be able to tap in.
Let me say this, right? The reason why you on Facebook Live is because you want more audience. But it's also the reason why you're unable to play more music, because if you play music, Facebook will mute you.
Well,
because you are live.
Okay. It's not Facebook, it's metadata.
So, because you want to get audience, you are talking more to engage the audience and leaving out the music. Okay. Radio is not supposed to be like that. So turn off the Facebook Live. 2, human resource. We should stop bringing pops and club DJs onto radio. When you bring them, let's train them before we put them to play. 3, artists are doing the best that they can. We should support them. If you play new music, you won't die, you won't lose audience. You have to just support the artist. That's what I think.
Thank you very much. And Chris?
Right, he said everything for the radio industry. So I'm just going to tell the musicians, basically, if you are doing, low tempo music or ballads, just keep on doing it. Right now, there's social media. If social media is going against the radio people, it will surely work for you somehow. Because let's look at let's take an example of this lady. What's her name? Amare. Amare is not doing like the Ghana songs, but Amare's songs are played all over the world. I mean, and if it's not working for you in Ghana, I'm sorry. Try some PR in Nigeria or something. Might work for you. So.
I like that. I like that a lot. And then final word for me, if you're an artist and you have new music, just send it to me. I'd love to listen to it. But I'm going to hand over to Chris for the next set of the conversation with Sam Oladotu. We're going to be supporting with Abiana, going to go on to Abiana's live album launch and also bring you visuals from there. So you're still tuned into the chat a lot.